Alright, we're on the Yamaha Wave Venture, so we've got a no start issue. We believe that the Bendix is damaged on it, so we're gonna have to get in the front of the engine up here to replace it. Take that front cover off and get the flywheel and all that off so we can get to it. We got the starter pulled off, but we broke that bolt right there. Goes through the housing right there, so we got to drill that out. And then the lower one we got out, soaked it for several days with PB Blaster, and it came right out. Loosen it, tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, loosen it, tighten it, squirt it with oil, you know, that kind of thing. So we got to clean up this gasket surface, but get that all cleaned up, and then we got to pull these motor mounts. That one. There's two. One on that side over there, right down there. So we're gonna pull that. We got to get the throttle off. We're gonna pull the carburetors and all that stuff, and then we're gonna hoist this thing up out of here. We got to disconnect it from the drive shaft. Got a few other lines and whatnot we got to disconnect, label everything, and then we're gonna hoist this motor up out of here. And that way we can work on it easier, get that Bendix replaced, so we can pull the flywheel off of it and get back up in there. It's like in behind the flywheel. So, and you got to pull like that front cover off the motor down there, so you're in between the gas tank and all that stuff. So I got to pull the gas tank and all that. I got to deal with that broken bolt, so it'd be easier just go ahead and yank this entire motor up out of here. So that's what our plan is. We're going to get this motor up out of here, see if we can get this thing up and running. Apparently it was working, it was running. I actually rode this thing once. I did some work on it prior. It had a clogged intake duct on the bottom. It had a bunch of seaweed stuck up in it. So I just had to clean that and got it fired up and run. So I do know it ran. So, but I tried to engage it, and you could just hear the motor spinning over on the starter right down here. So we're gonna bench test this starter just to verify and make sure that it is good. Make sure that we're not having a broken shaft or something like that. But you know, I can turn it and feel resistance. So the motor's probably still good in there. So and that's what leads me to believe the Bendix. You can't get to it, but you can see it through the back of that hole. If you got a mirror and you look down in there, you can see the teeth of it. It's located like right inside here. So we got to pull that whole cover off and get that out of the way, and then you got to pull the flywheel. And so it's like a series of gears and springs that engage between the fixed starter gear here. So, you know, like on some, they have a jack shaft where the shaft comes out and retracts and whatnot. And this one's just a fixed gear that attaches to another gear with a spring on it. So if you're having trouble starting your thing, don't start it with the throttle wide open, because if you start it with the throttle wide open and she backfires on startup, you're going to break the Bendix in the starter setup. So it's a weak point in the system, but it's designed to keep it from failing the entire engine. All right, we're gonna get this thing all pulled apart. Stay tuned. All right, we just got the electronics installed on this. We replaced the pickup coil stator, which is your alternator, and the ignition coil, and the CDI box. And so we're going to key on, key on, kill switch on, boom, she runs. All good. All right, stay tuned.